Welcome to Daily Dose. My name is Robert, given the gift of Dr. Robert, and also Susan, my dear friend. She's there. You know her from Dose, but you may not know. Great Oz behind the wall. There he is, the one who's been helping me matriculate to this place. His
The
name
wizard.
is James Navalta. Give it up! Yay!
You are our hero for sure. And your wife too. I understood she said you had to take him on. No matter how
Yes,
busy you were or anything else, please give your wife my gratitude for that decision she made.
I will do that. Yep,
Very
it's all her
touching.
fault.
That's the right way to say
Right.
it. So, James, what people who don't know would be quick to understand is that you've been my chair, my mentor through the completion of my PhD. There was a relative train wreck about this time last year, of which you were witness to and kind enough to hear and then put through your own filter. Can you share any of that to say, I mean, why take on a PhD student and at this juncture, and maybe what spoke to your heart?
That is a good question. I think at the end of the day, I always try to do what's right. And the way that my perception that you were treated was the opposite of that. And if there was something that I could do to remedy that, I was happy to do that. I did talk with the other PhD students first, just to say, hey, to let you know, my time is going to be a little more divided. And I talked to my family as well. And through that process, everybody was like, yes, go ahead and do what you need to do. So you got stuck with me.
Yeah, stuck in the best of ways. And, one thing that I want to make clear, at least for me, is that it wasn't like something where you just came and said, let me fix this for you. We formed a relationship, have formed a relationship that I truly honor. And can you speak about your leadership and how you mentor? And because I think it's very admirable, and I very much appreciate the way you've been a mentor to me over the last year.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure I've got a leadership style. I have things that I think work, and I think it comes down to treating no matter who they are like a person, rather than something to be checked off a list.
Stop the presses. What do you mean by that? Define your terms, man.
I know, I know. It's just having some humanity, right?
So institutionally, that's kind of interesting. And Susan, I mean, we've spoken a lot about that too. And that I think has been the cross between, I think, my work and what people with Parkinson's experience. Um, James, for you, do you see a lack of humanity sometimes I don't want to get you in trouble, but within academia at times? Is there sometimes people just seeing things as moving parts, cogs?
Absolutely, and I unfortunately got caught up in that. So I think that gives me a little more empathy, to look at what was happening with your situation and say, hey, this isn't right, the system for whatever it's worth. So I think that helped me also. So I just try to, and other people might have different perspectives, but I try to do what's right. And yeah.
And what it felt like to me is that you weren't stuck in some time honored definition of X, Y, or Z looks like, X, Y, or Z, but that you were open. And part of it was listening and responding from your heart, as well as your mind, and well as what the institution said. And those intangibles were invaluable.
Yes.
I feel like I got a PhD right along with him.
I think you did, Susan.
And there's probably several dozen of us who feel that way.
James, where can science learn from that aspect? Like you say, the qualitative side, or as we've talked often about Brene Brown, I know you're a fan as well. Where can traditional quantitative science learn?
I think there has to be a willingness to color outside the lines, a little bit. I think we get steeped in tradition, or this is the way that's always been, and we get into that rut. And if you're not willing to be open, then things don't happen. And I think it would have been a shame, the world would have lost out on the message that you can bring it through the PhD and all of that goes along with it. So I think we would have missed out if it would have gone down that path.
Well,
And if you
again,
heard the countless numbers of people at the end of the hour of our Jam for Joy, people who started off that hour actually fessing up that they almost didn't come, that they felt really lousy and that they were afraid they'd drag us all down. And at the end of that hour, just saying, I'm so glad I came. This has just really lifted my spirits, and it's quite genuine. We hear it over and over.
it's the same effect as the daily dose, showing up here just to express a couple minutes of wellness and thoughtfulness, mindfulness together. So to that end, James, thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
And that's
Really
your
been my pleasure. Yeah.
daily dose.